So on the 21st, the song I'm putting out with Kenny. This is so I went to Utah. I shot like 20 videos, and
wow.
yeah, I mean, I gotta break it down more, but I shot like 4 full-length videos for the demo tape. So like the songs that like I just wanted to do full-length videos for. So My Demise, Late July, 364, and then this one called Cheerios with Kenny. And then we also shot like 30-second to 1 minute vignettes for each song. So like we did for Cheerios. But Kenny couldn't make it to Utah for the time and shit, so I just did it by myself. And we shot a different video yesterday on VHS that we're gonna put out with the release. And that's more his style anyway, so it kind of blends both of our aesthetics. Yeah.
Who shot this?
This kid named Harold. He never shot a music video, but he did short films on YouTube, and that's how I found him. So I like hit him up. I was like, "Yo, can you like shoot a music video for me?" He's like, "Yeah, send me the music. Maybe like I'll see." And he came back. He loved it, so we just did it.
That's super. Where in Utah?
Salt Lake City.
Okay.
We went to IHOP.
Nice.
Yeah.
I went to Denny's
In Salt Lake City?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I survived. Salt Lake City feels like America to me. In like blue jeans, white t-shirt, like I don't know, it just feels like sterile.
Yeah, I agree. I was there during...
I mean, a lot of white people too. I was like, this is...
Definitely a lot of that. Obviously, geographically, like just a beautiful place, but I don't know. It was pretty bare. Like there wasn't really much going on.
Yeah, no, but like if you like nature, it's a vibe.
Yeah.
Like, we went to the Salt Flats and we shot a video there early in the morning, like sunrise.
That was crazy.
Bro, I watched the sun rise in front of my eyes and like I low-key like started crying.
Yeah,
and like
you don't get a lot of that in Massachusetts, do you?
You do once you first get. You get a lot of that anywhere you go.
The mountains.
And there's like the Hampshire Mountains, whatever. So
that's right.
Like holy shit, like that's Earth, bro. Like
yeah.
I think Massachusetts is more like Virginia because it's more of like a smaller place. Like there's little subcultures in Massachusetts and Virginia, but they're not like a major hub of anything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not like a New York or Chicago or LA. But I think everywhere is becoming more of a major hub just because there's creatives and shit everywhere. That's why I realized with this whole like project, like I had to reach out to people in Boston to help me with like art direction and cover art because I wasn't in LA. Yeah. And I found this guy in Utah to make the videos because I wasn't in LA. And it's like there's people.
That's how it goes.
And they're all still dope too. Like my shit is still dope, but
yeah.
There's like I don't know. I think that's also because of the internet too. 2 years ago, I shot a video for my song Peanut Butter, and it's a very summery song. Whatever I could have did LA normal like cheesy basic video, but I wanted to do something else, so I went and did the video in Vermont on a ski mountain.
I just watched it like an hour ago.
Yeah, and like I never skied before in my life, never like really been to ski mountains and shit, and it was just dope. I like got some ski lessons while I was there. I hate skiing. I realized that I'm never doing it again, but it was just cool to get the experience out of it. It's hard to find extras, or maybe I'm just broke, but
my
friends and managers and everyone gets in the video.
Extras are your friends.
Yeah. In that video, there was this girl, not the like character girl, but this white girl named Emma, and I went to high school with her, and she's like the reason why like all of this even started, because when I first moved out here in 2019, blah blah blah, put out 2 demos. They're actually Run With Me, which is the song you wrote about and Handle, but like in a very raw state on SoundCloud, because like I'm just about dropping music. I don't give a fuck about rollouts, and like I do give a fuck about it, but then there's sometimes you have to just not give a fuck, especially when you're in the beginning. You're still like testing shit out. People are always trying to make it so like put together, and it's like you're not even put together, bro, so why even try to do that?
Yeah, no,
I figure it out as you go.
I think from like the outside looking in with your last 2 projects, they felt very put together and very like planned out and well executed, which I applaud you for. But I also understand, and I would say actually even more so recently, you're kind of just going with the kind of go with the flow type method, and I think that's probably good and healthy in some ways. Yeah. And important to switch up. You know, like you don't want to feel as predictable. No. I'm more just like trusting my instincts and being like, oh, I want this song next, or like this should be the cover, or like let's do this way, let's go that way, and like kind of like I don't know, it's just like a very organic way. And there is like a balance between like planning shit out and being organic. And I'm still trying to find that. But like I think that's what music is missing nowadays. Like people aren't doing as many surprise drops. We know the song is dropping like 17 weeks in advance from whoever the fuck his name is, and like we care, but it's kind of, we have a lot of shit going on, and like kind of just putting it out and then seeing where it goes is better. Because then also you're putting a lot of pressure on this one thing by giving it this huge expectation and
hype. But if it's something that grows on people later on, it looks more like a success because it started from nothing. There was no hype around it, and you built that hype up.
Obviously, a lot has happened in the last year or so. Becoming a father. What has that step looked like? Because I'm imagining that's probably been a little bit more difficult to balance with music and being the father and having a lot of responsibilities that come with that. And also, you moved back home recently. What's that been like?
This shit has honestly been all crazy, bro. Like, it's very beautiful, of course, but at the same time, it's very crazy. And like, when I found out I was gonna become a dad and stuff like that, I was only 22. I'm only 23 now, so like, I'm still young as hell. Still like trying to take care of myself and how to figure that out. And then when you get that responsibility, it's like, damn, it kind of accelerates the whole process, which is a good thing. It's been really nice though, like a lot of time to reflect and shit like that. I wasn't making music for a couple months, just like not writing anything, not thinking about it, which is cool too. It's been a hard time too, like just financially and shit. Like I had to get a real job because I have a baby and she's not worried about Spotify streams or like I have to make sure she can have what she needs. So I just have to like do what I gotta do. So I've been waiting tables and stuff. But that's been cool too because it's just like humbling my ass. Like I don't know. Obviously, like you said, shit was going well and they felt very put together. The last two projects, I was just trying to skip steps and just like go like instead of like.
Totally.
Yeah, it just gave me that perspective to like slow down, remember why you're doing this, remember who you are, and then from that you can move forward. Which is cool because I had like a little downtime of not putting out music, and then I was like, alright, I want to get back into it. So I threw that single, My Demise, on my birthday. I think I want to make that a thing. Like every year on my birthday, I'll drop something, whether it's music, video, whatever.
Celebrate it.
Yeah, celebrate it. From there, I just was like, oh, maybe I'll put another song out. So I put the song out called 364, and then I just started like going through my notes app. I'm like, oh, I have a lot of demos. Like I've been working on this bigger project called The Gray Area. That's just kind of like the mission, and whenever that comes out, then I might take some time to relax for real. Still strong songs, and they just show some experimentation and range, and just it was just like shit I wanted to make, but I didn't have the time or resources to go back in and dial them up how I want them to be like pristine. But I still think they had a charm to them, so I was like, I'm gonna just start dropping these. Started dropping them loosely. We have kind of like a tape here. The earliest song was written in 2019. The latest song was written 2 days ago. I just feel like it needs to be on there, so I'm putting it on there. It tells a story for some reason of like a relationship, and that's just where my mom was at from there to there. Maybe my mom's always on relationships because like I don't know, it's a big part of my life. I feel like I'm a lover boy.
I feel that.
You feel that?
Yeah.
I think I just like kick some dirt in my water.
So tell me about your dog.
I bring her to the park a lot now because she can walk and she wants to socialize and there's just more space to run around, and like she'll walk up to a random stranger, look them dead in their eyes and be waving, or a little kid bigger than her, whatever, and she's so fearless. I'm like, bro, I should just be like that. And she's fearless is because she don't know no better. She doesn't think it's wrong. She doesn't have any like preconceived notions, and like as you get over there, you get those by experience and shit. But you really got to get back to being that little kid. Like my favorite artists are like fearless. Like they did shit that like maybe someone would have told them not to do, but that's what made them great. Frank Ocean, Kanye. They also, what the hell is that, bro?
Yeah, I'll just let that pass by and pick up.
That's like mayhem,
Yeah.
pandemonium.
That was a lot.
She just taught me how to be so fearless, and also she made me way more sensitive. I mean, I was already a sensitive person. I think that's why I'm an artist. Anything about her, I'm either like I can get really upset about it, really sad about it, or really happy about it. She just brings out the extreme emotions in me. I'm pretty lackadaisical, chill dude, but like I don't know, she just brings it out of me.
The first word yet?
Oh yeah, she says dada, mama. She likes to say up when she wants to get picked up.
Okay.
The other day I was in the studio and she FaceTimed me and I was playing her like, or I was just showing her the studio, whatever. And she just goes, oh wow.
That's funny.
Like I don't even think she knows what it is, but she's just like, whoa, what is this place? And she loves music too, so she was like,
I was gonna say, do you make music around her?
no, because back home I haven't really made much music. Well, my process back home is different. Like I write a lot of stuff down or voice memos, but I'm not in the studio back home as much. I want to get that figured out so it can like be just cranking. That's the thing that stops me a lot is to get started. I usually have the idea and the will to do it, but just the getting started makes it so.
Do you have any like producers in Massachusetts that you work with, or any creatives, or not really? Or in Amherst?
In Boston, there's this. Well, I don't know if he's in Boston anymore, but this kid named Ethan.
Okay.
And I met him through my friend Gabe, and Gabe like makes clothes and shit in Massachusetts, and like he's in the creative world, and like it's a long story, bro. Like we have to get into it, I guess, because I still feel like an outsider in Massachusetts and kind of everywhere, but from a jump, like. When I was born, I lived in like Lower East Side Manhattan. Then at 3, my mom and my dad split, so me and her went to Harlem to like be near my grandma, whatever. So I was there until like 10 or 11. Then I went to boarding school in Massachusetts until like high school, and then from there I went to another boarding school in Massachusetts for high school, and then from there I went to college for 2 months. And I came to LA, so it's just constant like moving and never like settling. And I have solid people and friends everywhere, but at the same time, they always feel like just one separation from really being close in my like inner circle.
Do you feel like any of that has to do with the fact that you've moved so much? Because you can't stay in one place for like a long enough time. I moved around a ton in my life, and I've had close friends everywhere. I have a ton of really good friends still back in Virginia. I have a bunch of good friends out here as well, but I also understand that like when you move from a place, those relationships, while you can still be tight with those people, this, that, and the third, you always share those same memories and bonds together. It's not going to be the same.
You're not growing together, like physically, like that's just, like you said, they're memories and bonds, but like memories, they like stay memories. They're not like the same. Like we can't. At least me, I need to be going forward because like
and evolving.
Yeah, and I got a lot of shit I want to do in my life. And like, not that they don't, or whatever, but it's kind of a selfish pursuit. I'm always in pursuit of that. Like it feels like an addiction, low key. I was like in the Uber coming here, half awake, trying to like. I just left the session, whatever. Been doing sessions all week, half awake, coming here to talk to you to put together this project rollout. And it's like, bro, you should probably get some sleep. But like, I want to do it. And like that's like probably what a drug addict feels like. They're like, I know it's bad, whatever, but I want to do it. It's painful to make art, and even if it's not that deep, just like. Even sitting in the studio and hearing take after take after take of the same line to find the perfect one, or whatever. It's brutal.
Interview with Diplo recently. Obviously, a very different style of music, but basically he was talking about just like being creative and coming up with ideas of writing a song is fun. Actually, like producing it out and doing all the different intricate shit that comes along with like getting the right takes, getting the right sounds, perfecting it, like every inch of a song. He was like, that shit's kind of sucks from time to time.
Like fast paced, but also quality.
Yeah,
and that's what makes people like prolific. Like people who put out a lot of albums, good albums, or like majority good albums. I have so much respect. Like Drake, no matter what people shit on him, whatever. You look over the last like 20 years, he's put out so much music. I've been on features, remixes, his own stuff, and it's just like obviously everything can be a hit because like no one has that type of thing, even with like darts or something. But like he has a good ratio now. I just want to be an artist that has more hits than misses, and it's okay to miss sometimes. And I think the demo tape idea and shit has allowed me to learn that, and it's like not necessarily a miss too because like. My Demise, it came out in October. It's just been like, doing its thing. People like the song. I like the song. That's why it's out.
Yeah.
But now in, what is this, June, almost a whole year later, it's starting to get some like traction on TikTok, which doesn't mean anything, but it's cool that like my idea that I had almost 2 years ago is still working and it still has life and they can still grow. And just because it missed in the moment don't mean it's going to miss forever.
Over time. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, a lot of shit is about moments and timing too.
One of the beautiful things about music right now, it's beautiful and it's ugly at the same time, but one beautiful thing about music right now is just kind of the evolution of songs and allowing them to grow over time. Like you're saying, you dropped a song last year, now it's starting to, gain traction, My Demise. Who couldn't have said that like 5 or 6 years ago? It's like, how hot can it come out of the gate and like continue to like evolve? Yeah. And,
that's why TikTok sucks, but it's also great because like even the older songs, like that one song "Run Up That Hill," that like came back many years later, and now it's way bigger than it ever was. And it's like you just gotta keep making good songs, putting them out there.
Totally,
it's pretty simple.
Yeah,
like it's such a struggle for me to get started driving in the car because I don't make playlists. It's like why vinyl's coming back, because people want to commit to something, and it also like the physicality of it too. But just like listening to a record from start to finish, but it's a good record though. That's what I think is missing. Like a lot of more good records. And there's a lot of shit coming out. I can't group it all in, but just like the shit that's like the mainstream shit isn't what the tier, like the type of shit that we need. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
Like we don't need people to pop off with one song, only have one song. We need albums and whole artists. Type of thing. It depends on what you ever want to like, what you want to do. For me and like what I want to do as an artist, I kind of want to like straddle the line of the biggest shit, but also like a little left of the biggest shit. Yeah, or even not being concerned and literally being in my own bubble.
Yeah.
Over here, and everyone else is over here, and yeah, someone's like, "Oh, hop on a house beat or hop on a Jersey puppy." I'm like, maybe that wasn't the hottest thing right now, but ew to me right now because everyone else is doing that. I'm like, I don't want to follow everyone else. I think that also comes from just because when I was like a little kid, I never even really fit in. So like, I just started seeing it as a good thing. But for a while, I really wanted to fit in. Like when I first started making music, I was making Playboi Carti-esque fake SoundCloud rap and
man, I didn't hear that. Is it under the Porsh Bet's name?
No. I had two other artist projects I never really fully conceptualized, and I just it was a local thing, which is cool because like practice and like people don't see that. But you do have to practice. Like, people might think I just came the fuck out of nowhere. I've been making music since late 2017.
Yeah.
And it's almost 10 years. Not really. It's like 7 years. But I'm just now getting a small, very small taste of any type of success.
Yeah.
So it's like, you gotta just grind. By the time I get real success, it'll be probably 10 years. Like, the top of the top type shit. It just shows people, like, I don't know. Let me see if I have anything. It's horrible if I do have anything.
What's the artist name?
Yeah, I don't care. Well, my first artist name was Apartment 21.
Alright.
Because growing up, I lived in Apartment 21 in Harlem in the building I lived in.
It's kind of a fire name.
It was, honestly. And I spelled it out. I spelled Apartment 20 out, and then I just had the number 1 at the end.
Alright.
It was hard, bro. Like, I had ideas in the beginning.
Yeah.
And also my homie who was, like, helping me at the time, Eddie, he's still my homie. He lived in Apartment 21 too, but in his town and shit. So I was like, oh, that'd be a cool rap name. But I was the person. And it was more like...
Was he producing it?
No, he was just around. My friend, I don't know. I just take inspiration from that shit. But it was like more Party Next Door inspired, like moody SoundCloud R&B. And it was cool, but like didn't feel like totality of myself. I like other things too. It was just like one side of myself. I feel like with Porsh Bets, I've been able to show a fuller picture.
Yeah.
I guess and no. Because in the beginning, it was way more like pop. Even though it was like left of center, there was a lot more pop influences and stuff. And like in my newer music that's coming out and gonna be coming out and that I'm making, it's way more just its own thing. Like Peanut Butter, you can classify that in a couple other songs that people have put out. Like you can call that, I don't know. That's like more like straight up, pretty safe song. Like, you know.
Totally.
But this is my first song ever. It's called Stay With Me.
The first song you dropped or first song you ever made?
The first song I dropped was the first song I ever made.
Wow. I
dropped it the same night. Or like the next day, Bro, I've always been pretty loose with it because, like, I don't know. Like, if you really want to be an artist, you could show people. Obviously, you got to have filters and quality control and think about shit. But in the beginning, just try stuff out and see what sticks.
Yeah.
But YouTube beats.
Of course. You've come a long way.
Oh, thank you, bro.
You've come a long way.
I didn't know how to sing. I didn't know what my voice was. I was just...
It
was exciting.
Did you grow up doing anything in music? Or were you just like, one day, fuck it, I'm going to be an artist? Or the idea of an artist intrigued you?
A little bit of both. Because when I grew up, like, my grandma and my mom took me to church and stuff like that. So there was always, like, church music. And my grandma was in the choir. She was really... insisting on me doing piano lessons. And I was like, no. But I should have done it because obviously she saw something in me that was like musical. Yeah. And then from there, someone else had tried to make me do piano lessons. But I did really like this piano / garage band class I had in middle school at the boarding school. Okay. With this teacher named Mr. Shalmi, I forgot his name. But it was dope. And we'd like make songs on garage bands and like arrangements, and we'd sing on Fridays in front of the whole school. That was not really my forte.
No, your vibe.
I was just in the back like, okay. because I went to an all boys middle school too, so like I don't know, it just always felt there was like a weird thing. It was like they felt the pressure to be cool, like in the sense of like boys and like impressing the boys, but they didn't feel the pressure to be cool in the sense of impressing girls because there weren't girls around. Like,
Yeah.
we were all smelly and just like unkept. At least I was, because like I wasn't thinking about girls and stuff at that time. Honestly,
Yeah.
It wasn't until like after 8th grade around there. That's when
What was that experience like? Did you like going to an all boys school?
Oh, I thought you meant when I started thinking about girls.
Nah.
I was like, that was crazy. I was like, that changed my life. It was cool.
Do you wish that you were not in an all boys school?
Yes and no. I mean, I wish I would have grown up with middle school girls and see what that dynamic was like, because maybe my dynamic with girls now would have been different. I don't know.
What's that mean?
It's not that it's bad, but like everyone else was around girls in middle school, but I wasn't. So for the most part, so I just had like I don't know. We'd see girls when we like go out on the weekends at like Target or like the roller skating rink and stuff. Yeah. But we wouldn't really. I don't know.
Very small town vibes.
Yeah, and secluded because we're in this boarding school and they're keeping us in this like. It was cool overall. Like it gave me a good sense of community because I didn't have any siblings growing up, and it was just me and my mom. Yeah. And then I'm surrounded by like all these people, but not too many people. Like the whole school, even with the faculty and staff, was probably like 600 people, with like 4 grades of kids and teachers and stuff. So it felt like pretty tight knit, maybe even a little smaller, and also gave me a different perspective on like landscape and life and stuff because I came from New York City and like Harlem and like concrete bricks, whatever. It's out here in these fields and stuff like that, and I really like started to like it. At first, I was really against it. Like I remember I would cry to my mom on the phone when I first got there, like I don't want to sleep here. Like it's scary, it's dark, blah blah blah. But now that's the one thing I would just wish for at night is just.
And you started there in 9th grade, or?
No, I started there in 6th grade. Bro.
6th grade.
So.
Damn, that's pretty early to go.
I was a little baby, really. It's a lot of like kids from higher or different socioeconomic backgrounds, like high class, middle class, and there's some low class, like kids there. And like for them, it feels like a different experience. It feels like their parents are like pushing them away, and they're just like go over there, go to school, whatever. Yeah. And for me, it felt like my mom was really putting a lot on me to like do something better with my life than people from my area of shit. Yeah, advance myself, which I really am thankful for. And it was really alienating at first, and sometimes it still feels like it was the start of my alienation. But I have to be thankful for it because I wouldn't have the perspective and knowledge and relationships and experiences I had without doing that. So it's like a give and take type of thing,
Totally.
And there I'm like 1 out of like 20 black people. Back home, just like 1 out of millions. Yeah. So not just even black, but just like the whole upbringing and stuff.
What was younger Porsh like, or Nick, right? Nick?
Yeah.
What were you like?
I was very like my daughter, I guess, now, because my mom would say I would go up to people and be like, hey, you want to play? And they would like diss me, and I come back and be like, they don't want to play with me, and she'd be like, it's alright. And I was very curious. I read a lot of books. I'd always be like one of those kids who kept a book on them. Very weird. Just because also I didn't have electronics and video games growing up. I'd have them here and there whenever like we could afford them, or I'd go to my friend's house, or like I would just stumble upon getting one. But it wasn't like a main part of my life. That's why I don't play video games now. Thank God, bro. Like,
I'm not hating on anyone that plays video games because they're fun.
Yeah, and
they're definitely fun, but I just like I can't. I don't have the attention to be able to like play video games for sure. More than like one game of 2K like every blue moon.
Exactly. I played like 1 to 2 games of 2K. At 2 games, I'm like I cannot do this anymore. Because it's just too much. And like that's probably just because we didn't really like have it or do it as much. They didn't call for us. Totally. It's just like people's interests and what they like. You like music. You like video games. You like gardening. Who knows? I was chunky. I was like fat. Nice. Yeah, I'm still fat now, but it makes you a better person.
You're not fat. I'm still fat.
In my eyes, still, but like, yeah. I used to be like almost 300 pounds at one point.
No, you were.
I swear to God.
Shut up.
I should have had these pictures like ready.
Let me see.
I'll bring it up. It was nuts, bro.
This is gonna be funny. No shaming.
No, it's not shame, bro.
Yeah, trust. As a big man myself, I feel like I can say basically anything I want to say.
Bro, the crazy thing is, I was more secure in myself when I was fat.
Yeah.
Why? Cause I don't know. Maybe because I just knew my role. I was like, I'm fat, so like, get that out the way.
I went from like fat to skinny to back to fat
I
trying
can
to
see you
get
being a
back
big
in my
buff
bag.
dude,
I want to
bro.
be like.
I can see you look like Conor McGregor.
I want to do it way more for like just that's funny you say that because people will call me Conor McGregor for it. But I don't know. I just want to do it to be healthy, you know.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Take care of myself. Like I'm only getting older. Like
start now.
it's important.
Yeah.
You know?
It's me
I want
too.
to feel good about myself.
Yeah.
So,
It's when I first started like losing weight, it was less about the vain reasons of why you lose weight and more about just I want to not die.
Yeah.
And just being scared of that. So being healthy.
Wait, so when were you 300 pounds?
At the end of 2019.
Wow.
No, 2018, end of 2019, like 275, 280, like up there.
How'd you get there? So
How'd I get there? From football.
Were you a lineman?
Yeah, I was a lineman, bro.
Shut up.
Yeah, I was in the dirt.
No way. I was a lineman too.
No way, bro. Yeah.
What position?
I played O-line and D-line, so I just both. We had football's not a big thing where I went to high school. It's big, but like not like the South or anything like that. So like, look at me and my size as a lineman. You can imagine how the team is.
Yeah.
But by the time I was a senior, I was like playing both sides of the ball, never coming off the field.
Nice.
We didn't have many people, but I guess in the time my goal was to play college football, so I would like train and eat and work out and like it was fat, but definitely some muscle under there and shit like that.
Yeah.
But then once I decided like, oh, I don't want to play football. I don't even like football. I love football, but I don't want to play it. I don't really like playing it. I'm just doing it because my homies are doing it, and like this is a way to connect with them and it's fun.
Gonna be at the gym. They're gonna be at the gym at like 5:30, 5 o'clock.
Yeah.
Can't
Not for me. But the thing is,
just dying in the classroom at like 8:30 because they all
like
have to have the earliest classes.
Because they have to go to practice later again.
Yeah.
It's hell, bro. And like, I went to the school. I had committed to school for football. Like,
oh wow.
I did the whole. I'd like to attend, blah blah blah. This school called Westfield State.
Okay.
I literally went to the football camp. It's like earlier than the school year. It's like in July or something. Went for one day. I was like, the same for me. I don't even think I did most of it. So then I told my mom and stuff, I was like, I'm not going here. Because like, the whole reason I was going there was football.
Yeah.
And then I started really like listening to myself, and I was like, all right, I know I want to do something with the arts and maybe business or something. So I was like, I'm gonna go to liberal arts school. So I went to this school called MCLA, Mass College of Liberal Arts, in like the Berkshires. It's like the middle of nowhere, bro.
Where?
Massachusetts.
Okay.
Like more towards like upstate New York though.
Damn.
And
probably cold as a brick.
Cold as a brick, boring as shit. Like you name it.
Yeah.
Very bad heroin problem there with like, it's a weird place.
I believe it.
But I thought I was gonna be on my like Kanye shit and be like in Wyoming and like that type of thing and like
that's not what it was.
It wasn't that though. It was not lit. So go back home, and I had a girlfriend there at the time too. I'd go back home like almost every weekend once the school year started, and I realized I hated it.
Yeah.
And then after Thanksgiving break, I went on with my girlfriend on a trip to Arizona, and I just didn't go back to school.
That's how it goes, man.
Yeah.
Go to Arizona one time, it's just
change your whole life. Arizona's
just blow it out.
I kind of knew I wasn't going because you got this like little card, like your student ID, and it has points and stuff. And I had a lot of points left for like the dining shit. So right before I left, I just went to the store and grabbed mad cookies, chips, soda. I was fat.
I forgot about that part. Yeah.
And all that stuff. And yeah, I was like, I'm leaving school, so I'm just gonna take this, spend my last bucks here, and then whatever.
Nice.
And I didn't go back to school after that, and that's kind of where Porsh Bet's origin story begins.
Was the music getting fired at that point?
No.
Or no.
My music didn't get fired until I came to California.
So you didn't... Did you drop out being like, all right, here we go, Porsh Bets,
no.
I'm an artist now? Or it was like, I'm dropping out, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do, but I'll figure it out.
That was it. I knew I was going to do something creative, though, and at the time, my thing was more photography, videography, even clothing design.
Okay.
And those were always my, like, first loves, because I love movies and I love fashion, whatever. That's it. So I did that stuff first, and I had this company called Not Nice. I got it, bro. I got it tattooed. I'm going to show the camera. I got this tattooed, and it was supposed to be, like, my creative house production company, whatever. I was really committed to it. I was doing photos through it, videos at the local college scene, like, frat parties. I would use that as my way to get in. I'd be like, oh, I'll take a recap video for you for your Instagram. So I'd be in there with my camera, and the girls would come up, and the guys would come up, and dance and blah, blah, blah. And then I would also do photos at the college. They would do like spring concerts. I took a photo of Lil Yachty. I took a photo of 21 Savage, Khalid. I met Khalid and shit like that. So then I think through seeing glimpses of that and whatever and just being around more music, I was like, I could probably try to be a music artist.
Yeah.
But that was I didn't even think that in real life. That was in the back of my mind.
Do you do any of that type of work for yourself?
Yeah, I do a lot of the shit for myself.
Really?
And I say for myself in a loose term too, because like I mentioned before, I will like hire people, like even Eric, who's right here filming this. Shout out Eric. Shout out Eric. I'll hire people to like create my ideas with me, but I know what I want.
Yeah.
And I just need people to help me execute it. Because if I try to do everything myself, I would literally explode.
Yeah.
Like I can barely even talk, bro. Imagine trying to do everything I want to do by myself. I would die.
Yeah.
So I definitely need help. But I do a lot of stuff for myself too. I do like the art direction and just like even some graphic design stuff. I'm not the best with that. Just a little bit here and there, but really just coming up with the ideas I feel like is my specialty.
Fire.
And he had set up and he was listening to music, like a little home studio, and I was like, yo, can I make a song? And he was like, sure, like I don't care. So I went on my phone and I was like, Party Next Door type beat. And I found that beat of the song I was showing you, Stay With Me.
Yeah.
Recorded that night, like 2 hours. I was so hyped on it, like it's the hottest shit ever. I was listening to it, but went on Google, found a picture of Goofy. I love Disney. And I found a picture of Goofy from the Goofy movie when he was with this girl and he was like in her face trying to impress her or some shit. I don't know. And I put the white letter graphic Stay With Me on it. Dropped it on SoundCloud. Next day had maybe 10 views. I was so hyped.
Yeah.
And ever since then I love music. And,
I love that.
That's my biggest thing. I try not to shoot people down. Even if I don't like something, I'm just like, I'm not even saying anything. I just leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to be the one who killed your spirits, bro.
Facts. And most of the time, it's not your responsibility, too.
Cause I hate when someone else tries to do that to me. I don't mind feedback and criticism. Please bring it on. But when it's just straight negative, I'm just like, bro, why are you?
Keep that to your chest, or keep that to yourself.
Yeah, like keep that shit away from me.
Yeah.
And that's why in the beginning, that song Stay With Me.
Yeah.
I showed it to like 7 people before I dropped it, and I dropped it the same night. So how fast do you think I was sending it around after I dropped it? I mean, after I made it. And I just over the years learned like, you don't have to share everything you make every time you make it and stuff like that right away.
No.
And like keep the energy in you and like keep it like pure and like unfiltered and stuff like that and without opinions, because that already, even if it's not weighing on you heavy in real life, it's in your subconscious. Like when you decide to put it out into the world, then let the people have their judgments, but like don't share it with people outside of your circle, whether it's your producers or like your really good boys. Even those people, like if you got something and like you really fuck with it, that's when you should not probably share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep it to yourself.
But the adrenaline in the moment of like, oh, I want to show you this because like it's dope and blah blah blah. Because even I play something for a friend and they'll be like, oh, I can't understand you. I'm like, bro, you're not seeing the point. Like it's not about the mix right now. Like we can fix all that. It's just like, do you like this idea, like the concept, the melody, the lyrics, whatever.
People can't look past
the vibe.
that type of shit.
Yeah. You can't see past the vibe and see like what's really there and whatever.
No, I hear that.
Which is cool that you like my music from day one, because like I don't think it sucks, but I know it could be way better. And it's like, damn, how so? Don't know how. I just know it could be way better. It could be more real. Like in the beginning, my first 2 EPs, they were really about learning how to write songs.
Yeah.
Even this demo tape, because that was my first thing like into LA. I met Kojak through Emma, the girl from the Peanut Butter video.
Okay.
And he like was a big pop producer and stuff like that. And he showed me how to like really write songs, like proper songs, and then applying that to my own style of shit. And then the one piece I think I was missing, or I'm still missing, is like adding myself. Like their style, structure, self. In the I feel like good music, it has style, structure, and self. And I have the music skills kind of like, you're never done learning, but I have the structure kind of shit on lock. I have the style kind of on lock, what I like to do, what I lean towards.
So being more honest with your experiences.
And bringing that forward and letting people in on that. Because like,
Yeah.
the best artists have that, and that's the point of view. That's like everything. Like if you don't have a point of view or a purpose in your music, it's just noise.
Yeah.
Because like anyone could do that. That's why the AI shit, I'm not scared of it, because it's just noise.
And I think that's also why people won't connect to AI. Like people will always want artists who are people.
Yeah.
Because they know they're not pulling from experiences and things like that.
They're looking, when we look at our favorite artists or people like that, we're just trying to find ourselves in someone else, whether it's in their experience or in their physical being. Like artists that look like us, or maybe artists that have been through the same shit, or artists that sound like us. We're always looking for familiarity and shit like that.
What was, I guess, the process of Peanut Butter kind of growing into debatably your biggest song?
Well, not debatably, it is. But not the best or my favorite.
Yeah, I agree with you on that as well. But what was that? That was pretty early.
Yeah.
Kind of in the Porsh Bet's
this is my fourth
release
single.
history. Yeah.
Okay. And the video was $4,000. Put a couple $1,000s behind like marketing and ads and campaigns.
Yeah.
So like, that song is literally that big because we invested that much money into it. It's kind of what you put in is what you get.
Yeah. And
also like, I made it in a professional studio with my homie Phil Fever, who makes songs with like Selena Gomez and Maroon 5. Like, of course that song can be my biggest song if nothing else I've ever made is in that same realm.
Yeah.
Just because of what that music is made for. It's made for selling pop music. And yeah, so that's why that song went up, just because a lot went into it.
Yeah.
Which is cool to see, because like, if I have the same things, maybe one of my other songs could do that. Which I think is the thing that I'm missing, is just like the resources. But I'm not missing it. It just hasn't come yet. And you can't. I got really bummed out when I moved back home and stuff. I didn't have all those resources at my hand and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, how am I gonna do this? And I low key lost sight of myself and who I was and why I was even cool in the first place. Not cool, but why people were even attracted to like work with me or like, make music with me in the first place. And like that, it was coming from in me, not like outside sources. These outside sources came in later, but when I dropped Apple Eyes, no one knew about me, no one cared about me. For the first week, it was just doing like 20 streams a day.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Just had to remember that.
You weren't really on TikTok,
no.
And now like you've kind of taken that step, and that's probably gotta feel good to at least be getting in that bag. You seem pretty comfortable on the platform and figuring it out, and also, from my perspective, do a really good job of incorporating it into your daily life and like showing your life.
Yeah, I'm still honestly really trying to find a balance with that shit, because I still don't know much about it, and like came late to the game, like you said.
Yeah.
But I started to like think like, yo, you gotta embrace this shit, because like it's not going nowhere, and if you don't want to go nowhere, you gotta like work with it, but do it on your own time, I guess, your own journey, whatever, and to your own taste, and like curate it to be like how you'd want your thing to be if you have to do this. You know what I'm saying? But if I had to make a burger, how would I like it? You have to make the burger, but like, you can pick how you want to do it. That's a very bad example, maybe, but I don't know.
No, it's true. It's true.
So that's why even doing stuff like this is feeding into that, because I'm going to chop this up and put it for that format. But still do the things you want to do. Have conversations, make music videos, but just curate it or adjust it to the formats we have now. If you think back in the day, like when Instagram and Tumblr were first coming around, that's where like Odd Future and like, or YouTube more so, and Frank Ocean were all like on and shit like that. And they just took advantage of what was the discovery tool at the moment, but they still were themselves and did things their own way.
Yeah, man, everybody has to adapt. It's never just been drop music.
No.
You know? Like, there's always, and one thing I think it's important, it's like, yo, you know, a lot of people spend a ton of time, you know, complaining about TikTok, which I hear. Like, it's definitely, it can be a little bit of a brutal platform from time to time, but, yo, you're never going to be successful only doing the things that you want to do.
No,
you know?
You can't expect everyone to reinvent the wheel, but it's just like, why are you making that wheel?
Totally.
And it's like, all right, that's cool. And,
totally.
But the main thing is, as long as you're making good songs, you can fit anywhere. You can keep adapting, because you're not relying on that platform, which is, I feel like, what's happening now. There's some people who rely on just the popularity they have on TikTok and stuff like that. Not that they're relying on it, but like, the music industry is deeming that as like being a good artist or good music, when it's really just like a totally different metric. Personally, I don't even consider myself a musician. I'm an artist. Yeah. I don't play a musical thing. I don't know music theory.
Yeah.
I just have a idea and I want to get those out. I like to cook. Ever since I found music, like when I told you back when I dropped that first song, it's been my like addiction. Like it's always something creative, or like not always. Obviously, like I go on hikes, I play basketball, I like to swim, I like to travel, but the main thing that's always eating in the back of my head, even what I'm talking to them sometimes about, is literally music, and like just trying to get these ideas of what about this music video or like stuff like that. But yeah, it's just really music is like the main thing.
Totally.
Which is why it was uncomfortable. I mean, I haven't really shared it yet. By the time this comes out, people will know. But I didn't tell people who didn't like really know me that I was working at that restaurant, like broadcast it to social media.
Yeah.
I started a little bit on TikTok, but when I started doing that and seeing people were fucking with it and started rooting for me, I was like, yo, I should just build on this and like lean into it and be real because this is my real life.
Yeah.
And in return, I can be more consistent because it's not like a
You're
upkeep.
not hiding anything.
Yeah, it's like this is just straight up what it is.
Yeah.
And two, it like inspires or hopefully will inspire other creatives or artists or just people in general. Like you can get through your situation and still do what you want to do as long as you want to do it. And I think that's another decision I had to make when I like fell back from it all and like was working and figuring shit out. I was like, if you really want to do this, you really got to do that shit for real. Like you can't be half-assing it. Sometimes I was really doing it up until the point where I had a little success with Apple Eyes, peanut butter, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it felt like a little half-assed just because I started working with people and I thought they were going to pick up some of the slack or help me more and whatever. And it just started coming from a different place and my energy was different towards it and I wasn't as motivated or as really on it. But now, like the last year, I've really just been like gunning for it, bro. And like I don't do much else. But when I do other things, I do have fun. Like I went to the zoo last week with my daughter. I went thrifting the other day, like OD thrift haul. I went to like 7 thrift stores.
Do you feel like you're able
You got this shirt?
Fire.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're able to take care of yourself within all of this going on?
I'm trying to more. I mean, it's like ups and downs. There'll be times where I'm really doing a good job and like I'm getting enough sleep, I'm eating, I'm blah blah blah, exercising, definitely staying consistent with the working out has been like a savior.
Nice.
And I can even be more consistent, but just keeping that in the back of my mind has helped me, one, clear my mind, but also, yeah, just have a routine.
Totally. And
you can take care of yourself, but just like figuring out like in which ways does that work for you and has it all blend. But I should start putting that more as a priority because like if you don't take care of yourself, there won't be anything else for you to take care of because you just would be non-existent in a mess. Yeah. Yeah. So.
No, it's true.
It's so weird how shit makes you feel though. It's like you want to do all these things, but like you gotta take care of yourself first. As creatives, sometimes we could be like not lazy, but we're just down to just do nothing for a little bit and procrastinate.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to a great point of not procrastinating as much. Like I've been running around so much today. That's why I feel so like
energized.
Yeah, energized. But if I just procrastinate a little less, everything doesn't have to feel so rushed.
Yeah.
And well, because I've planned it out and have more time, so just planning ahead and preparing and stuff like that, I could definitely get better at, which in return will help me take care of myself and blah blah blah.
Nice.
But for the moment, I think it also kind of just has to be like this because this is the time. Like I'm sure if you ask any like artist when they're like in the beginning, really trying to make this shit pop or get any type of motion, anything like that, they were like really just going hard.
Yeah. And
not in a way of like. It's like in a good way. I'm just getting shit done, like just handling my business. It's not going hard and like stressing myself out. I don't feel stressed at all.
Good.
I just feel very motivated and inspired to keep doing shit. Like I like to be nice, and I don't like to have confrontation, especially with people you are close with and like you love, and you usually don't have confrontation. But there's this one thing or these two things I need to like say, but I'm not saying it. It's like you gotta say that because else you're gonna walk around with this cloud over your head.
Hey, you should have checked me.
But why? You know though.
No, I'm kidding. No, I do.
I try to not be too overbearing too. Like, I think that's my problem too. Is like my approach to life is different than a lot of people, and even people I'm close with. And they're like, "Oh, why didn't you just tell me all these things?" I'm like, I don't know. I kind of like to let people figure them out for themselves too, because like I figured out a lot of shit for myself over life. And it's kind of low key been better because you listen to it more when you figure it out for yourself. Yeah. Someone can tell you don't do this, but when you really realize why not to do this, that's when you'll stop doing it.
That's true.
Yeah.
100%.
So,
one thing that I've enjoyed kind of seeing you take on in the past, I feel like, especially, like you were wearing the
Vote for
Porsche joint with the Braves hat.
Yeah. And the glasses,
you kind of became
overalls.
This character.
Yeah.
Is that something that you want to continue to do over time, or was that just kind of like a moment where you thought that was something you wanted to do?
Yes and no. I love like when people do concept albums or characters, like for instance Tyler's Igor, whatever the case may be, and all that type of idea.
Yeah.
Like building the whole world and story. But I just did it too early because like no one even knows who the fuck you are yet. How are you becoming this character? And like we don't even know the real you yet. And maybe if I would have executed the role out better and been more planned and prepared, like I said I want to be, it would have made more sense. But kind of people are just like, he's just wearing the same thing all the time. Like there was no context to it.
Yeah.
And like you just need to give things.
The
That's
intention.
what we're doing
Was
this
there
for.
intention behind
There
it?
was intention, but there was
Yeah.
no context.
I just noticed on your necklace, it's your daughter's name,
Yeah,
Cadence.
Cadence. I wear it all the time.
How do you come up with the name?
Her mom.
Obviously, slightly music driven, or was it random?
Oh, well, her mom came up with the name. I don't know what her thinking was, but when I heard it, I was like, well, that works because, like, you know, music and blah, blah, blah. So
Yeah.
I was like, let's go.
You were bought in.
Yeah, her name is Cadence Jade Rivera. I don't mean to give her whole government out, but
Yeah,
it's a cool
yeah,
name,
yeah.
I think. And it's cool because she likes music, so, like, maybe she'll be involved one day, maybe not.
Yeah.
But it's cool. I also have it, like, tattooed on my name.
Let me see.
I think on the side, right?
Okay, yeah. All right.
And that one's crazy. I was in Miami, like, this time last year, trying to work on this demo tape, or a different thing I thought it was back then. And I had a session with my homie Phil, who I work a lot with. He produced Peanut Butter and, like, Neiman Marcus and stuff to the weekend. After the session, I met up with my boy JJ, who I met in Amherst. We play football together. He lives in Florida now and stuff and works. And we were just cruising around. We had nothing to do. He has tattoos. We both love tattoos. We're like, we should get tattoos. And it was like 12 a.m. So we found some tattoo shop and got tattoos at 1 in the morning. And I got my daughter's name. But this was like 2 months after she was born, so it was just a real fresh thing. I was like, I always wanted to do it, and I wish I got it a little bigger. And like, you shouldn't just get a tattoo at 1 a.m. That's why it's kind of fucked up, but it's cool. It has a cool story to it. A lot of my tattoos are like that.
Your tattoos. And when was your first tattoo?
My first tattoo. Oh shit, it's right here, but it's
I can't see it.
Oh,
you're good.
should I just stand up? I'm sure. No.
There it is.
Yeah, it's a rose in the concrete, and it's from like the Tupac poem, "A Rose That Grew Out the Concrete," and like kind of like paying homage to being from Harlem and like how all the experiences I've had and like going to boarding school and just like I think of myself as a rose and like not a corny way, but in that situation.
Yeah.
So like just paying homage to that poem from Tupac, "A Rose in the Concrete," and I just think he's a dope person. I wasn't gonna get the whole poem written out. And the tattoo artist convinced me not to, and I'm very thankful I didn't do that. I wouldn't want just like a paragraph on my leg.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a dope paragraph, but I don't know. This was my second tattoo, and this means absolutely nothing.
Man, I was gonna say, you can kind of tell. I think you can kind of tell a lot of the time with like people with their first and like second tattoos.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time it's a little random, and I feel like as people go on in life, they become more intentional with it. But the first time, it's like, oh, I have this vision of getting a bird in a sky and all these things like put on
you're
my
literally
arm.
quoting, like I feel so embarrassed, cringe right now.
No.
And I just thought this would look cool.
Oh, there's a bird on
That's
there.
why I said a bird in the
I didn't
sky, and I
know
was like, oh my god, bro, you're slamming me. Like
Shit.
people always ask me what time is it on the clock on there. I'm like, I don't know, bro. This is a random from Google. But I'm glad I have it. I have a lot of flowers on me.
It's still cool though.
It's still cool.
Yeah, it looks
Aesthetically, it looks good.
Yeah.
Then I started getting more intentional, and this is like praying hands for like my grandma and mom, because like they're religious people and stuff like that. I consider myself religious, spiritual.
Good.
And it's just like, just reminds me of them.